Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today we're back on the Bentley and we're looking at sorting some of the headlight issues that we've got. It's due an MOT soon, so we're going to do a full replacement of every bulb in the headlight units. So that will consist of your main beam, what's going to be your full beam, and then you've got your side lights and your indicators. I've gone for all Osram bulbs here, and it's the D2S for the main beam, and then you've got your standard, I can't remember the fixing exactly if I'm being honest for this one. That's going to be for your full beam, your LED side beam, so we'll get rid of that yellow fogginess that we've got, and they should all then match nicely, and the amber LED indicator. So it should be a bit of a upgrade as well as a maintenance job, this one. I've heard it's an absolute nightmare to get to the bulb access points on these, but we'll see and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It doesn't look too bad on this side, but this side looks like it'll be a little bit more difficult to get to with having the coolant bottle there. We've just drove the car over to the back, so what we're going to have to do anyway is wait for it to cool down, because we're going to be working in and around the engine bay, which means it's really hot at the minute. Once they're in, we'll also get a good indication as to whether the actual beam is going to be any better than it was. It should be, because as I say, these are an upgrade from the standard anyway, but there is basically no beam pattern when this was driven in the night, so they're dimming but still lit, which gives you that false sense that they're working when they're not actually. So yeah, I'll walk you through this and I'll try and find out how hard or easy this is as we go on. Right, so jumping straight in here, and the easiest bulb to access is actually your high beam. So as you can see here, that is still ridiculous to try and get your hands in, and try my best to sort of film the space that you have and how to actually access it. You do have some caps on the back ends of this. Well, obviously I already took that off to be able to access the actual bulb itself. Did eventually manage to get this one out, get this one swapped. This is on the passenger side as well, on the left hand side of the car, where the access is the easiest essentially for these headlights. So it is possible on the left hand side to get to that. So that was first bulb in, and also just to show you guys here as well, the caps are like a twist function to get them off and release. So it's a anti-clockwise to undo that, and then it'll just pull towards you, and then to get it back on, there's a little bit of a rubber seal there, so you do just need to give a bit of pressure to push it back in, and then it's clockwise, and you'll kind of hear and feel it sort of click into its secure position, and it's literally just a quarter of a turn to do that. So quite a good shot here, and this shows you where the caps are to actually access both your bulbs. So as you can see here on the left hand side, that is your cap that you'll need to pop off, and that gives you access to your low beam bulb, and you can clearly see there that there's not a lot of room at all. But I did actually manage to get the low beam bulb out on this side. Now getting it back in was a different story. That was a lot more difficult, but again, it did go in on this side, so on the passenger side, on the left side, can get to them. Now, one thing I would say is the side light bulb, which is the main annoyance or nuisance, I would say. That's the one that really kind of dates the car. That one is probably the most difficult one to get to. That's kind of underneath your low beam. And that one, I didn't actually manage to be able to get access to that without going, as you'll see in a minute, to a ridiculous level to gain access.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we are hours into the Bentley now, and it's been an absolute nightmare. This the worst design for changing headlight bulbs I've ever seen. We've managed to do it, or we will manage to do it in a minute. So I'm just going to show you what we've had to do to get to this stage. Okay, so this is the car at the minute as it stands, just for changing bulbs. So we've got front bumper off, wings basically virtually off, just enough to lift the fronts. As you can see there, I've managed to pull out the headlights. This one's already done, just ready to go back in once this is all plugged in and we know all the bulbs work. And essentially what you're needing to do is, this is your headlight, this is your high beam, and then what you've got is underneath at the back, I'll show you in a minute, you've got the ones for your side light and your indicators. To take this off, on this side I've had to go under here
and you see this hole here. Basically, to get to the bolt that ties the headlight in, which is around here, you need to go through that with a Torx. So I think it's a 35 Torx, and then you can get that out. You've got another Torx here, and you've got the two at the front, and some bracketry that sits at the front as well. So a lot of faffing about, but we've not let it beat us, and it will get done. So I'll show you now. At the end, I'm not going to piece it all together. It's definitely not a how-to, but just wanted to sort of, if anyone did want to have a go at it, show you the lengths that you do need to go. There's a lot of people online that have said they're able to get their hands in to the backs of here. On this side, it's not too bad. Probably could have done that one, to be fair. This side, no chance, because you've got the coolant reservoir there. You need to be behind here for the actual headlight bulb, and for my hands and arms that's impossible, hence where we're at now. But anyway, no, crack on and I'll show you the finished result.
Annoyingly, I wasn't able to actually do the indicator bulb change. That was due to not having a canvas adapter. Didn't think ahead on this one, and definitely won't be changing those bulbs, so they're going back to the standards. Not really an issue. Standards aren't too bad in terms of the indicators, and it's not something that's that noticeable. One thing we did find that was an issue though, and certainly would have been a contributing factor to the lack of light output that we had, was these headlight tints. I pulled these off, and as you can see here, the residue that was left from the glue, which I'm assuming is from the heat from the bulbs, has created like a fog or a mistiness over the actual lens. So they're definitely staying off, and it meant that I had to get the polisher out and repolish all the lenses. I don't think we actually had any issues with our original bulbs. I think it was more to do with the headlight tint that was on. So yeah, that is completely stripped off now. And I can now show you the finished results, which I think you'll agree are definitely worth the time that was spent on there. Massive improvement on what it was like before. I unfortunately haven't got any really good video of the original bulbs, but from the limited footage that I have got, you can clearly see here the drastic difference. And as I say, especially in them side lights, it massively modernises the car, gets rid of that sort of amberish, really old-fashioned bulb lighting that you have, and we've now got really nice, clean, crisp headlights. So thanks again very much for watching, guys. Hope this helps some of you out. If it does, then please drop me a comment. Let me know if you actually managed to get into those bulbs without having to go to the lengths that I did. And I'd really appreciate it as well if you could hit that like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done already. And I'll see you on the next one.